just sounds like they're my mom yelling at me. Nick, stop it! And I was born November 12th, 1996, and for the first 18 years of my life, I'm only 18 now, which I guess. I lived on a little farm about 2 hours west of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, called Scott. I actually lived on a farm in that little town, and if you ever want to come visit Scott, I hope you like experimental grain research, because that's really all there is to do there. That and the post office, which we lost last year. That's how small my town is. There's about 50 people, and 3 of them I know by their nicknames and nothing else. One of them is Sergeant Strange. He's very weird. What else? I went to school in a little town about 10 minutes away called Wilkie at McClurg High School and Norman Carter Elementary School. Go Bronx! In my time, I was involved in all kinds of sport competitively. I played about 11 sports during my high school career. My favorites being football and wrestling. These two sports were very, very important to me. I've had a lot of self-revelations, and I've learned a lot of things about myself playing football and wrestling. In my first year of football, our team was very short on players and very high on injuries, and this is just a bad combination. After about our 3rd game, our team actually folded, which was a very emotional time for all of us, because we really bonded the last couple of days and weeks and trying to put something together, and just to have an end off of our quarterback getting injured was really, really hard on everybody. As a result, next year, in my grade 10 year of football, I was faced with a really tough decision. Find somewhere else to play, which would mean going to North Battleford, which is a 45-minute drive away from my home, or I could stay home, where there is no team, and instead become a leader for our football team in my 2nd year of football on a team of grade 8 to 10 kids. So, along with my best friend, I chose the latter decision, and I stayed home, and we created another team here. And our coach helped us a lot, but our coach, Mr. Musician, actually really has credited me and my buddy Jordan for helping rebuild that team all over the last 3 years. And by my final year, we went from having, I think, 11 players in my grade 9 year to 28. We over doubled the amount of players that we had. And 8 of those kids were seniors. 3 years ago, the only seniors were me and Jordan. That was it. Those are the only guys out of that class I graduated with who played the whole 4 years. Rebuilding that team is something I'm very, very proud of, and I take a lot of pride in that, because it was a tough decision for me. Do I want to go somewhere where I could become something, I could, work on myself and become a better football player, or do I stay home and maybe not get all the experience I'd like to get, but still maybe set something up for people in the future? So that was something I'm really proud of. Not so proud of it now, because apparently this year's team is already folded, but that's a story for a different day that'll get me angry, so let's not talk about that. Now, on to the other one that's even more important to me, wrestling. Before wrestling, if you can believe it, I was kind of quiet and shy and a little bit reserved, and now I'm a big goofy idiot. And, well, very energetic, very loud, very weird, but I like it. Wrestling taught me a lot. It taught me not to make excuses, because this is a sport where everything you do doesn't reflect someone else, it reflects you. It's all on you. If you make a mistake, you have to fix it, not someone else. You can't rely on someone else to do it for you. It's all on you. But you have people around you who are willing to help, and that's what made wrestling such a big thing for me. I had some of my most proud moments in wrestling. If you ever want to know about them, we'll talk about them, because those are some long stories, just ask. Showed me the difference between being patient with something and acting desperately and just going for everything you want and have right then and there. It taught me a lot about that kind of thing. It showed me how competitive I really am, but I will get competitive over coin flipping, really. It's kind of ridiculous. It's an odd sport because, well, talented athletes aren't always the ones who were successful in wrestling. My coach used to tell me that talent in wrestling was only 10% of the whole battle. 90% came to those who wanted it more. If you had the right mindset and were willing to work and drive and put everything into a match, you're usually the one who came out on top. There's very rare where someone who is just more talented and better than you that actually won. It was just you going and getting it. Everyone I've ever known and talked to who's ever wrestled before has said that wrestling has changed their life in some positive way or another. It's helped them see something about themselves that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. That's why I love the sport so much. As for other sports I've been involved in, I've played basketball, badminton, soccer, volleyball, baseball. I love golfing. I took a year of karate, so don't fight me, I'll kill you. I'm Canadian, so I played hockey for about 10 years. I also started my wrestling career off with a different kind of wrestling with submission, so I know a lot of ways to choke a person out. I haven't done it in a long time, I don't think. Actually, with volleyball, there's a bit of a funny story. So last year, in my senior year, every year what we do when we start off the year, we have a pancake breakfast throughout the whole school, and then after that, to waste the rest of the morning, we have a volleyball game between the seniors and the teachers, right? And I was excited, I was ready to play this game, and then a couple of days before I dislocated this finger, and when it came time to play I couldn't do it. So me and my buddy, who helped rebuild the football team actually, we got together and decided, let's see if we can do a play-by-play of this, right? So we asked our principal, he was okay with it. We set up a table at center court, and we had a couple of microphones. We were all dressed up in suits, and we're doing play-by-play over the speakers in the gym while everyone else is playing. And we were even getting stupid enough. We were walking on the court in the middle of the game, giving people on-court interviews as they're hitting and stuff like that. Like, we're just dumb stuff like that, eh? It was a lot of fun. What else we got here? That's enough about sports, though. There's a lot of other things towards me. I'm a big music guy. Anybody? I love all types of rock music. Anything from the XM Bastards. You guys know who those guys are? Hey, song Renegades? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. You know, that acoustic song came out this year. Hey, 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 hey. There you go. Okay. And anything from those guys all the way up to Metallica. I love heavy metal stuff like that. Not too heavy metal. That's too far. But anything between kind of the mid-'80s and the mid-'90s, that's my general area I like to stay in, but there is good music other ways. If you want to talk Foo Fighters, Offspring, I can go on about those guys all day. Those are my two favorites of all time. I like video games too. Not a ton. I like to play them though. I guess I'm casual. If bugs any of you guys. You're such a casual gamer.
You'll be casual.
I wanted to be a news anchor for a really long time, but I never really pursued it until the last couple of years. It took until I had an aptitude test and my counselor suggested I go for a job, something like this. She actually thought motivational speaking would be good for me because apparently I have an uplifting personality or something like that. And a bit of a good, I don't know, whatever she thought. I don't know, I say I'm a good speaker, but what I just did there totally disagree with that, right? I just stuttered for like, I don't know, 15 seconds. Since then, I was cast as the lead role in my school's drama program as Captain Crunch from the cereal box. And I would have kept going in drama, but the teacher was really bad and the drama program folded the next year because no one wanted to put up with her. I've been the MC for the graduating class before mine. That was a lot of fun. I've also MC'd the town's dance recital. This summer I MC'd with an RCMP musical ride, so just talking through the moves they did on the horses and stuff like that. That was actually kind of cool. This is the most effort I ever put into any of those speeches at all. In that grad, I winged it for like 2 hours. The RCMP musical ride, I had a script written up for me by the government. Dance recital, that was something else. I've done a job shadow at CTV Saskatoon. I've probably talked about that. I don't know if you guys are sick of hearing about it. With the weather guy and the sports guy. I was on online radio for a weekend as part of an e-journalism team covering the National Congress on Rural Schooling, which sounds really, really boring, but it was actually a lot of fun. For the most part, we talked about different seminars going on and ideas to make rural education better and stuff like that. But we also had a lot of fun. We played music all day and just talking about anything that interested me. I did a couple interviews. There was something really goofy that happened while I was there, actually. We were set up kind of like big windows like this, but maybe they were a little bigger boat though, and they were looking out onto the street corner. And I looked outside as I was on one of my mic breaks, so I was talking, and I officially dubbed this guy who was walking by, I called him the Trench Coat Cape Wanderer. I look outside, and I see this guy, and it's like 27-degree weather, and he's got on camo pajama pants. He's got one of those like t-shirts that looks like a suit with a bow tie on it and everything. He's got a trench coat that's open, cape on top of the trench coat, that's a power move right there. Backpack over top of it, and then he's got a top hat on, and he's got like those glasses that are like shades, they don't have a lens, they're just kind of like the little blinds you see through. And he's going around and he's just handing people cards, like, what's this guy doing? Like, who is this man? He's so interesting. And I started talking about him, and I talked about him probably on the hour for the next 2 days, just because he was so weird. I was like making search warrants for him and like just talking about him because he was so bizarre and funny, and it was so weird that it had to be talked about, and I had the freedom to do it, so I did it, and it was a lot of fun. So, you know, I had a lot of family listening to me while I was on the radio because my family is awesome, very supportive. I love my mom, my dad, my uncles. If any of you guys add me on Facebook, and you see why I love my uncle, we have this thing where for the last 5 years we bought each other the stupidest Christmas present we could find, and for grad he showed up wearing every single one of them, and it was awesome. He had camel onesie, Rough Rider hat on, snow goggles, or skiing goggles, pink fishing gear in one hand, and a toilet plunger that looked like a shotgun in the other. He's just an absolutely awesome guy. So I've also got my, I guess that's what happens having a really supportive family when you're, when you are the youngest by 12 years. My brothers are 12 and 14 years older than me, both very successful, and because of that, I'm a spoiled little brat. I have no life skills at all except for this, talking a little bit. But it's actually kind of pathetic. I probably never, if I've spent over $200 on my own gas, I'd be surprised. That's how bad it is, and I've been driving for 3 years. That's about it for me. I've pretty much covered most of the stuff on me. If there's anything else you guys would like to know about me, feel free to come up and ask. I'm a very open person. I'll talk to anyone, anytime, anywhere. I'll even talk to anything if it's a cool looking inanimate object. So that's me, everybody.